Welcome to the Florence Foodies podcast, a place for the community to gather and share the stories, voices, and experiences that make Florence feel like home. To support this podcast and the Florence Foodies platform as a whole, click the Support This Podcast link found in the description.
It's 2026.
2026, well,
It's crazy.
25 was a crazy year.
What's your goals for 2026?
Man, I just want cash flow and abs, yo. You know, that's the goal is to keep grinding, double up on what we did last year, and healthy lifestyle. I definitely want to start doing more investing this year. That's a definite goal. And do some real estate stuff. So I'm gonna have to talk to you about that because that's on the list for this year as well.
Well, so let's do this just before we launch off the runway, because we're probably going to be going
All over the place.
all over some places. Real quick, why don't you just let the audience know, where do you work? What do you do?
So I work at ALM Hyundai. I'm the business manager over there. So if you need a vehicle, you know who you need to be talking to. It's only the #1 dealership in the city, and that's a literal thing. Outsold literally every other dealership in Florence, South Carolina last month by at least 60 cars. So there was a couple of stores we did combined their sales between, well, I'm not gonna name no names, but just to say, we got some deals for you. If you need a vehicle, you know who to come see. You feel me?
Number one, that dealership's not that old either. How long?
No, they only been around like 5-6 years, and they're making a lot of noise in the automotive industry. They acquired like 7 stores last year alone, just buying up stuff. I was at 5 Star. Me and 5 Star definitely still have a wonderful relationship. Love my people at 5 Star. Miss you guys. But
Different opportunity.
when new opportunities knock, you gotta take advantage, man. That's all it was.
That's how it goes, man. It's industry, business, a competitive landscape. Some people are always looking to improve on either side. Speaking of businesses, I noticed yesterday I saw that a legacy business, what I would call it in Florence, Salties, is going to be staying open. It seemed like they were closing for a very long time.
Salty's been closed
For
for
some
like
years.
10 years.
Well, but now they're not, though.
And they're not now.
Thankfully.
Okay, so now it's
Yeah.
official. Okay.
But yeah, apparently I guess the son came to run the business is what it looks like. I saw on Facebook. I'm excited about that because I really just, over the past probably 3 weeks, probably a lot of the hockey buzz and excitement and all that going on got me thinking about it. But one thing that we used to do when I was a kid in Columbia, we were in apartments. So we didn't have a front yard. Our front yard was asphalt. So we played a lot of football out there, like two-hand touch football out there. And then we also played roller hockey. It was something that we did. And I used to rollerblade a lot. And I went to the Florence Center a couple weeks ago thinking, which is probably stupid because I haven't even rollerbladed in decades. I haven't been on a pair of rollerblades in probably 20 years or more. Probably more, actually.
I can say I've never been on a pair of rollerblades.
Well, but I was pretty good. I mean, I wasn't like a pro X Games rollerblader, but I mean, I could stop, change position, skate frontwards, backwards. Like we played hockey. Like, I mean, I could move around. I didn't have to give thought to my movement. Let me put it that way. I could move. Well, I was thinking like, well, shoot, ice skate probably the same. So I'm telling the kids and the family, I'm like, it's not going to be anything. We'll just go. I'll show you what to do.
You thought ice skating and rollerblade was going to be the same
I thought it was
thing?
going to be pretty similar. I Googled it. I looked it up on ChatGPT. It said it's like 75%, 80%. I'm like, that's all I
Okay.
need. So, but no, not at all for me. So I get out there and very difficult, very challenging. I didn't fall, but that's probably because I didn't put myself in much position to. I felt a little bit better because I saw a couple of guys that I know that actually play hockey or played for a long time, and they were like, Sam, they were like, you doing all right? I was like, nah, man. I was like, bro, I thought I was going to be able to come out here and just move around. They said, no. They said, you've got the rental skates on And they said those have never been sharpened. Kids have been walking on the concrete with them for 30 years.
And that matters.
It matters. It's like flat. I didn't know any of this. So they said, so if you can learn to skate on those, you can skate on anything. I didn't really learn to skate on them, but I got a little bit better. After like an hour, I was doing okay. Not good at all, but okay. But I was moving, you know what I'm saying? I could get from point A to point B.
Well, you do it way better than I would have done. I already know that.
And then we thought taking the kids would be a good idea, like the toddlers. That was a horrible idea.
Yeah.
Didn't it? I mean, we obviously holding them, making sure they're safe, but like as far as their experience, they hated it. They absolutely hated it. They didn't like it at all.
We went skiing, and skiing is probably similar. I got some clips, that is showing me skiing. I think I probably attempted 21 times and I failed 21 times. And then my 5-year-old, just like that, going down the hill with no problem, bro. Like I don't know, but
My son did the same thing skating. He was actually starting to get it. Dakota with the rental skates, he was starting to figure it out by the end.
I think it's certain things that, we don't do. And skiing's one of them. Ice skating's another one.
I thought about it. So my best moments of skating on the ice skates was when I was intentional about getting the thought of falling or injury thing out of my mind. So I realized, like, I look back at stuff I did when, like I said, we used to play football on the asphalt. Like we played every day. Every opportunity we could be outside playing, we did that. That was our number one go-to thing. We played hockey too. We played football. That was our thing. And I'm like, man, there's no way I would do that now. Like I'm running like wide open, full speed, like I'm in an NFL game, giving it everything I've got. And we would fall frequently. Your feet get tangled up and stuff like that. You slide across the asphalt, rip all the skin off you. I'm like, man, at this age, I would not.
There's a lot of things I can't do now.
But even the thought in your head. So like when I'm out there, I'm like, man, I don't want to fall. Because you never know what the recovery time will be.
Yeah. I gotta go to work, bro. I
gotta work tomorrow.
Sprain ankles.
Exactly. But and then so now I'm slipping and sliding. But when I would kind of just put that out of my mind and just go with the muscle memory motions, I did better. So I think that's why the kids have an advantage, because they don't even think about it. So like he just hopped out there, try to figure it out, but he's just like, his mindset is just go, 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 and he started to figure it out. So I think that's the secret. You can't even think about the consequences if you're going to try to do something physical.
Especially something like that where you going to fall anyway. You just got to learn how to fall too. But I'm going to stay off of sports where I'm going to fall down. Just not going to do them.
We went, it did not go how I thought it would go, but I felt like it did. I said all that to say it sparked all this back up. So actually, after we get done with this, I guess they'll be open. I don't know if they will or not, but I'm going to try to go by Salties and see, price some roller blades and stuff, because I think that we got a cul-de-sac where I live, and I think that's something the kids would enjoy doing. I'll go out there, get a little exercise with them and do it, and set a little goal up, and nothing major. Nobody's gonna be cross-checking or hip-checking anybody. Just a little, just a little skating around trying to knock the ball in the net. That's all you're doing.
Yeah,
it should be fun.
I mean, I'll let my kids get out there with y'all, but I'm not gonna. I can't get on the rollerblades. My hips ain't built for rollerblades.
Well, I'm gonna give it a shot. Just pray that it doesn't go sideways, because I don't need that.
Don't let it go sideways. So, what is your New Year's resolution?
I gave up on New Year's resolutions a long time ago because I'd make them and then not do them. So it's just like a setup to disappoint myself. But
I think everybody does that. But yeah. I mean, it's still.
But we do have. That's why I do have goals, and so we do have some goals, and I wouldn't even necessarily goals. I think it was really projects. So for those that don't know, we did launch a brand new sports show. That was I planned that like a year ago, before the announcement. Going back to hockey, not to harp on that, but before the announcement of that, something that I wanted to do. I felt like nobody really covers the only sports coverage we've ever had locally. It's just like an epiphany, that dawned on me. And probably a lot of smaller markets, smaller towns have this issue. Nobody covers sports on a local level. You get the news, the 15-minute segment that the news guy, sportscaster on the local news does, and he doesn't go in depth. He just gives you like the highlights and kind of, just a little I'm a sports guy, man. You know that. I'm a big
Yeah.
Philadelphia Eagles fan, so we're mourning the playoff loss, but not really. I'm glad it's over. It's been a miserable season.
Yeah.
So they
That
put
was
us out
that
of our
was tough.
misery like old Yeller on Sunday, and that was I thank them for that. Thank you,
Tough. Yep.
thank you. Glad it's over. But
Panthers out too, so
yeah. So I mean,
tough.
I keep up with a lot of sports content throughout my life. Even hockey, like I said, boxing, basketball, not as much anymore, but at a different point in time. And I just thought nobody really does that. How would people enjoy having coverage? I mean, you got parents all over the place whose kids are playing for these high schools. My son's at West Florence, and hopefully he's playing rec this year. But I think, he's got a really good chance he'll be on the basketball team somewhere next year. And I mean, he's really doing well. He takes it pretty serious. We'll talk a little bit about that later because I want to talk about some AI stuff and games and all that. But he plays basketball all the time, and nobody really covers this stuff. And then the hockey team came, and so that was like the final piece that just made it make sense. Now we've got a professional team back locally, and it just seems like, it would be good to have some coverage. So we started that, and we're only 2 episodes in. We try to drop an episode every Monday. That seems to be going well so far. People seem to be enjoying it. We're doing giveaways and that kind of thing. And then couple other projects, down the pipe. Then, of course, just building on the momentum of what we've already done in some other areas with the program we do on Friday nights, professionally, obviously with real estate, trying to just continue to, increase in what we have to offer, and then that'll double back and increase on the volume that we do in that regard. And in this show too, I just, as a side note, I had my plan was to take this show once we started it earlier last year and say, well, we'll run it to the end of the year. And because it's a lot of work that has to go into this, actually, it's a lot of time and energy. And I was like, well, if people enjoy it, then we'll continue to do it. But if they're not listening or watching, then we'll just quietly hang it up, at the end of the year and move on to something else because it's a waste of my time. You know what I mean? So if people aren't enjoying it, why do it? And just being very candid and transparent, I was leaning towards around October-ish of doing just that because it just seemed like it wasn't as productive. And it was almost like the Lord was like, nah, don't do that. Because right around that time, I had multiple people. I mean, it was like consecutive. I would go out to the grocery store, go to like a Best Buy or something like that, whatever. That was one place. And people come up to me and they're like, man, I watch all the podcast shows or I listen to them. And I was like, well, and they were like enjoying it. Like they're enthusiastic. So it's like the numbers aren't large, but it was good to know. It was encouraging, I guess, and kind of confirming but the people that do listen, this quality listenership, they're enjoying it. So I was like, we'll keep doing it. So therefore, keep building on this also and see what we can do to make it better. Always trying to make the product better. That's really my goal for 2026.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good goal.
So let me ask you, I'm not going to talk the whole time, but I am going to tell a story to set this up, and I'm going to let you run with it. So, because there's a lot that we can say about this. We've already had some discussion. So AI, I think AI is the sleeping giant that people think isn't even sleeping. And what I mean by that is it would be wrong of me to say people aren't even talking about it because they are. A lot of people are talking about AI. But I feel like even in that conversation, a lot of people aren't really realizing just how dramatic this thing is. It's already happened. It ain't happening. It's already on like phase 2 right now. It's in the works. It's changing humanity as we know it, as we speak. And I'm going to give you one example of something that happened with me. This is a story that was part of my 2025 story. I started having headaches. I would wake up with headaches going back to about 2018-ish, 2017 or 18. Inexplicable, is I had never dealt with that. And then it was increasing. And these headaches were like debilitating. So for pretty much 8 years, and it kind of increased throughout the years, it was getting worse to the point that last year I'd already had different kinds of medical professionals that I'd consulted about it, gotten opinions. I tried a lot of different things over the years because it was miserable. And it got to the point where, they were like debilitating. Like it was, you just got to push through because you got to work. But they were pretty debilitating. Sometimes you even feel kind of like sick and really just want to go to sleep. And to the point where last year, about midway through the year, I even went and had an MRI done because I was like, I need to figure out why am I having these. I mean, if we got to figure something out, let's figure it out. So I went and did that, and that came back fine. Thank God, there was nothing wrong. But yet I'm still having these headaches, and it was during the MRI. Speaking of God, I was in the car on the way there or on the way back, somewhere in that mix, and I was like, Lord, you know what's causing these. I've got all these people. This has been years going on. Like, you know what's causing them, and you know how to fix it. And I'm like, reveal it to us. I said us, like, show us what's going on. And so, little to my knowledge, my wife was actually doing kind of the same thing around that same time. And it was like a week or two later after the MRI, she came to me and she was like, hey, I was on Chat GPT, and I found something. We needed to give it a shot because we had been trying to track what I eat and all that. This has been going on for years. This is a real thing for me and us. And she was like, I found something. There's something called tyramine, and there's a tyramine/histamine, which is two different things, intolerance issue. And I'm going to be uneducated on this. Somebody watch this, chime in on the comments and formally explain to us with some education what I'm talking about. But you'll know if you know. Basically, it's an intolerance, and if you eat certain things after around mid-afternoon, your body's ability to metabolize this tyramine is not good for what there's an enzyme that's basically missing in your system that's just not produced to that level, and so it causes like a serotonin dump throughout the night, and you wake up with this headache, and they would progressively get worse. Migraine medicine, they were like, I couldn't even get rid of them. Like they wasn't an average headache. Like these jokers were like, oh, like Debo headaches. Like they pull up.
You got hit with a brick.
They pull up on the bike in the morning and like, yeah, I'm gonna say my day, punk. And like they go take that from you, and you can't do anything about it. And you just got to push through it. So, anyways, one of the things at the top of the list was dark chocolate, which was something I was consuming pretty frequently. That was like a go-to late night snack for me, watching a game, watching a movie or something like that. I eat dark chocolate. Bro, I stopped eating the dark chocolate. I listened to this, like, well, let's try it. We've tried everything else. And it's been 3 months now. I've had one headache in 3. I was having up to 2 or 3 a week. I've had one in 3 months. I mean, you're talking about something that changed my life. This has changed my life for real. That's why I'm on this podcast talking about it. And so, and you know me, I prayed about it, but and this is how I view things. I don't put God in any boxes or limit him, and I don't take offense to anything on that. He can use whatever. The fact is, I prayed that prayer. She did as well, but it was Chat GPT that was the vehicle that literally gave us the answer. I've been to multiple medical professionals, and if y'all see this, because some of y'all may one or two in particular may watch this stuff, it's no slight on them. I appreciate all.
I mean, it's practice at the end of the day. They all practice.
But yeah, you can't, you know what I'm saying? That's my point though. That's actually my point. You can't know but so much, and you're giving your best effort and your best guesses, your best work, hopefully. But I'm talking about Chat GPT diagnosed this thing. It diagnosed it, and the one headache I had, just so you know, well, why'd you have that one? I didn't eat dark chocolate. One of the things you can look this up, tyramine foods. Just Google it or Chat GPT it. You'll see it. But leftovers is one of them. And so I'm working on another project that affects my diet a little bit right now at the first of the year. And I'd eaten like that night. I ate like 2 cans of sardines or something late at night, like 8 o'clock.
Wait a minute, you ate 2 cans of sardines?
Yeah. No carbs, full protein. They're good too. Just don't get the cheap ones. You get the good ones, man. Yeah, it's not bad.
Hey, I never heard you just eat it like.
Don't knock it, man. Yeah, just pull them right at the can and.
Okay.
And I think it was the sardines that got me though. I went looking at because I ate some other stuff too.
But it was.
So, anyways, shout out to the Chat GPT on that note. But it's the AI, man. Think about what I just said. This was a medical issue that was limiting my quality of life for almost a decade, and multiple medical professionals, thousands of dollars spent, MRIs, like medication, migraine medicine, stuff like that. And yeah, we might manage the symptoms a little bit, but no explanation, no restoration of my quality of life in that area. And then The Lord opens it up, bang, Chat GPT comes through with the answer. We apply it, and I'm 3 months into it now, and I have not been dealing with this. I wake up every morning feeling like a different person than I did for almost 8 years.
GPT putting a lot of people out of business. I mean,
Yeah.
to putting the medical field out of business, so they're definitely changing it. I mean, AI is gonna change the entire world. We are literally in the middle of the greatest technological shift in the history of mankind. Like that's where we at right now, and people ain't nobody talking about it for real like that. But I mean, what's happening? Robots are here, bro. Like the doctor that can stand in front of you and physically do something to you is that AI is finna exist, bro. Like the robots, real robots are here and they're about to be for sale like cars. And they'll be able to do a lot of stuff, that you pay people to do. And the people that you pay to do that, what are they gonna do? I mean, the question is like, as fast as this is moving, what are we all going to do whenever there's nothing to do to make money?
Well, there's a lot of conversations going on about that. I know there's some different things being talked about. That's the big question, probably. Just talking about like the cars and robots. I watched a video yesterday, and the guy was driving the Tesla, and he was older guy, and he was blown away that it was driving itself. So he said he had his wife or daughter. You couldn't tell, but it was a female. Whoever was holding it. He said, tells her to cut the camera on because he wanted to share it with everybody how amazed he was that this car was making the turns and all of that. He said it went to a 4-way stop and waited its turn, like to let the first car go, and then it went. He's like, this is crazy. He said, so what I want to see is, will it pull into my driveway? He's like, I got a narrow driveway. I live on kind of a busy highway, and so we're watching him, and the car pulls into the driveway. He said, I haven't touched the brakes, the gas, the steering wheel, the blinker the entire trip. It cut the blinker on, it pulled in, it pulls in his narrow driveway, it pulls up, and then it turns around and backs into his parking space, which I don't own a Tesla, but I'm sure that you probably I would imagine you programmed some of that. So he probably was trying to get some views. So he didn't tell everybody that he probably already told it to do that. Like maybe he already set that program in, but still though, the fact that it did is crazy. And my uncle was in Vegas. He was telling this story at Thanksgiving, and he said that they called an Uber and they're waiting on it, and they saw a car or two pull up on the strip
With no driver.
with no driver. And he was like, nah, I'm not, because he said, my app says I got a driver named so-and-so. He's like, I'm not getting in that one. I better have a driver. Well, that wasn't his ride. He did have a driver, but he was like, I'm not getting in that. I don't blame him. But I was sitting here thinking from a business standpoint, if you had the money, and I'd have to run the numbers. I don't know if it would make a lot of sense or not. I guess you'd have to give a lot of rides, but theoretically you could. Couldn't you employ a fleet of driverless Teslas across the country or the world for that matter, and just set them up on auto Uber, get you some insurance, whatever that would look like, and let it ride?
I mean, that's coming, but you can't do that today because the map is not there. That's the whole.
Well, yeah, wherever they got the map.
Yeah, so as long as it's not mapped, like every road in the country isn't mapped, so they won't be able to just go anywhere and do anything. But in places like Vegas, where the it's a lot of tourists and a lot of people, and it's a popular area, like in Phoenix, that the West Coast, that is already a thing with driverless cars and driverless Uber and robot cars, because that's already a thing too. Like Hyundai, where I work, is literally the manufacturer of the main robot that's going to be available, the Atlas. And
What's that?
it's an AI robot that you can buy for like 30 grand and put in your house, and it'll do your dishes and do all of the chores, and it has hands and feet, and it can walk around, and it's smart as ChatGPT. So it can do way more stuff than you think. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that is already a thing in 2026. So whenever that is normal, like when that is as normal as a TV or a car in general. Like there's a car in every driveway in every house. So if once there's a robot in every car with AI capabilities, the maids are going to be out of business. But then you got to think about professions like barber or hairdressers, because those robots are going to be able to do that type of stuff. Like I'm sure they'll have, an arm that you can take off and put on another arm, and it's some clippers, you know what I'm saying? And it'll have different attachments that can do plumbing and fix the lights and do your electrician, be electricians and build your house from scratch. You know what I mean?
They
Like,
got 3D printers now that can do that. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure.
and that, you know what I'm saying? As long as you got the materials to feed into it, they print your house. But I mean, if you got a robot that knows how to put the wood together, and you know what I'm saying, and just give it the time to do it, and then you come back 6 months later and it's built you an entire house or something crazy. Like that's literally just popped in my head. But I mean, the things that are going to be possible within the next 2 or 3 years is going to be scary.
You can work them around the clock too.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no robot labor laws.
They don't exactly.
You work around the clock, buddy.
Yeah.
You don't clock
Shut
out.
up, just keep going. I'm tired, boss. Too bad. Keep going. But yeah, I mean, that's the things. Like, I mean, you got that in a physical sense, and also from a digital standpoint too, like the agents and all of that stuff that's in ChatGPT, to where you can tell it to do something and work it for a week and come back, and whatever digital thing you wanted it to do is done, and on whatever scale, so it's like that. When all of that stuff is normal, I'm curious to see what the world is going to be like whenever everybody understands what's actually the capabilities of what they have right at their fingertips.
So talking about this Atlas real quick, that makes me immediately the first question I have is, can this thing choke me out or like break my arm or something? So
surely it can.
I'm wondering.
Surely it can. I mean, it can learn jujitsu just like it can learn how to be an electrician. You know what I mean? So
this is where my mind goes with it though. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, okay, if I got a robot.
You've seen the movie.
I know. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So if I got this thing in my house, he's a dude basically. He's a mechanical dude, and he's living in my house. All right, fine. You know what I'm saying? He's a hybrid between a pet and a child and a servant, I guess. I don't know. It's all good. He's there, but I need to know how much torque is on his joint. So if he I think that would be what I'd be looking at.
It weighs 140 pounds. It's 5'9".
Yeah, I need to see the specs.
5'9", 140 pounds. But as far as like the lifting ability, I don't know. But I'm sure it's going to be strong enough to lift the box.
I only need him strong enough to lift a basket of
You don't
laundry.
want him strong enough to be able to beat you up.
Exactly. He just needs to be strong enough, because that way if he gets out of pocket, then we're not going to have any problems, because I don't care what size he is, but if he can only lift a laundry basket, then I'm probably going to be all right.
But see, the thing is physical strength don't mean nothing, man. That thing.
It means something when that joker lifts you over his head.
Yeah, but if he gets out of pocket and makes your whole house turn against you, like, what you gonna do then?
What you mean?
I don't know, but I'm just saying.
Mind games?
Yeah, he started make the vacuum come after you. I done seen all the movies where the AI take over all the appliances, bro. Next thing you know, the toaster trying to get you.
It's only a matter of time before the technology.
Yeah, because I mean, like, what's the threshold for thinking? As far as like, what do you consider thinking? Because the AIs are going to be able to think.
How do you govern it? If it can write its own code, then it doesn't matter what you can write.
If it can think and have ideas, that's when things get scary. Because then you don't know exactly what's on its brain and what it's, it's like you can program it and it can only do one thing. But if it can think and it can have an idea that you didn't give it, that's when it's going to be scary.
The problem.
Yeah, that's when it's going to be scary. Because once it has the wrong idea, and it's going to happen, and it's like, oh, wait a minute. He doesn't need to do this because he doesn't need to do that. And this is for his own good. I'm going to make sure that he can't do anything for his own good. And then next thing you know, the robot holding you down, talking about, no, you don't need to get up.
It's going to be real cool when the first time it has an idea and like, it's a good idea. It's like, all right, you talking to your wife in the house, like, look, we should get the kids. I mean, you go here first, and then we can start my target. And then if we do that, we can hit the road, be on the road by 9 o'clock, and that'll get us there. He's like, excuse me. It's like, I think that maybe you should consider going here first, and then going here, and then just go to Target when you get to the next town, and you could save an hour of time and efficiency.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, Johnson, that was a great idea. Thank you. It's all good and fun and games when he's doing that the first time. Until about a month from now, when that joker's like completely overhauling everything that you're doing in the house. No, we're going to do it this way. It could come in real handy, though. I'm not going to lie. That's going to be the seductive part. That's going to be the stumbling block for us, probably. Because I already know a lot of things that it could do for me that would save me a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm already doing it,
Yeah, that's true. So
Speaking of,
Hey, so this is something we've talked about a lot. So staying on the AI subject, you got artists out that are winning major awards. I think somebody won a Grammy, if I'm correct, or at least was
yeah,
nominated. That is an AI artist. So obviously, the AI, there's programs out there that can make music. It can do whatever you want it to do. I've tinkered with it. It can make some like really good stuff. Uh, and at first, when you first do it, it's like crazy. It's like, wow, this is nuts. But what's your thoughts on an AI artist? Like, what do you think about when you think about it? Like somebody creates a song by putting prompts in for what they hear in their mind. They want to make something, and it becomes popular. So they are credited. I don't even know how to even ask what I'm trying to ask. What is your thoughts about AI music?
I mean, music in general is just one of those art forms that AI is definitely going to be a huge influence on because it can do it. I mean, anything that AI can do is going to be able to do better than any human doing it. So whenever you combine the aspects of you just saying, "Hey, give me a song," and then it spits out a song, and the song's good, and everybody can do it, it's going to be an interesting field. But as of right now, everybody don't really understand how easy it is. But like you said, there's a girl, I want to say her name is Janae Monet, and she is got millions of plays and in the billboards with an AI artist that she trained with her voice. So it sounds like her, but it's AI. And she writes the songs, you know. But yeah, I mean she's got a $3 million record deal
Wow.
from an AI artist. But
Okay.
the real girl, and I forget what her name is, but it's a completely different name. But the pictures of what the AI artist look like is not her, but it's an AI version of her, and the voices is an AI version of her with her words. And she's the first one that really make like mainstream noise, but it's definitely not the last.
Hmm.
And I mean, like I know some artists that are well known, and most of the well known artists didn't are not too partial to AI music, which I would, obviously, but it's one of those things to where you gotta you can't beat it, you gotta join it type situation because
Hmm.
it's not gonna go nowhere. So it'd be better to just kind of get ahead and be the guy that's using it too, because at some point in time everybody's going to be using it. But with the capabilities of what it can do, if you're a really good musician and then you add that aspect of it, it's going to be really hard for anybody to compete with you that's not using it because of how fast and how efficient it can come up with stuff and keep coming up with stuff and doing the musical aspect of it. Like the words is one thing, but the the instruments and the instrumental aspect of it, it's too good. It's too good. I mean, that's the only way I can describe it, but it's fun. I'm a musician. In case people didn't know, Latwan Edwards is also Tootie Tunes, and I've been doing music for 20 plus years. I've been in bands since I was in elementary school. So it's, making music and doing that and seeing the transition from the day and age that we are now versus 10 years ago. Like it's crazy. But it is what it is at this point. It definitely ain't gonna. You can't turn back the hands of time. So, as far as an AI artist, I have an AI artist. So that's. I think that it's the future.
See, I feel like for me, I would like a hybrid approach. Like I haven't, I've tinkered in some music with you in the past, and I haven't done anything with music in 10 years. But if I were going to sit down and work on an album to release in June of 2026, I feel like I would take a hybrid approach because I could leverage AI for some things that I don't have the capacity to do. So I don't play the guitar, I don't play the drums, I don't play the saxophone. I wish I could play two out of those three. I do wish I played the guitar like Clapton or Stevie Ray Vaughan or one of those guys. And I do wish that I could play the saxophone also, but I don't. But AI can. So if I can come up with something in my mind, I wouldn't want it writing music for me because I feel like the lyrics are the heartbeat in the mind, the DNA of a song. But the instruments are the arms and legs. That's what makes it move, and that's where I'm limited at. So I feel like if I were doing that, I would want to write my own songs for sure because I want to control what the song is and what it's about and what its energy, what its mood is. And then I would leverage the AI to help me create that sound that I'm looking for. And then I probably would go in and I would do all the engineering and mixing myself because the effects on the vocals and all that, I need to control that too because there's a certain sound to the character you're looking for. And that's how my album would be constructed. It would be me doing it, but I would leverage AI for some of that. And then of course any of the vocals that weren't mine, but it would be like that with any album. If you're doing like you write like a duet or something like that, then those aren't my vocals anyway. So I might let the AI do that part, or if I had another artist come into the studio and do it. But yeah, if I were gonna release an album in 2026,
In June of 2026.
yeah, I would. That's how I would do it. I mean, hey, like you said, you can't beat a joint. Why not use it? It's very beneficial. And you can custom tailor and craft it how you want it to be. So yeah, it's interesting.
That if I was going to release some music this year, uh, I would probably do the same thing, um, probably gauge it towards something that people are familiar with. And, who knows what may happen. But at the end of the day, we got to have fun. But me personally, I'm a grown man. I got 4 children growing and a job that demands a lot of hours. So I don't really have a lot of time to be in the studio trying to, record and re-record and do a lot of different things. So if I could cut a little bit of that time out and still come out with a quality product, hey, why wouldn't I do that?
That's part of the benefit. I mean, you're knocking out, a big chunk of the heavy lifting. So it's interesting, man. The landscape of everything is changing. Manufacturing, housework, music. It's the medical field. We just touched on 4 big things. Even transportation, 5. That AI is literally impacting right now as we speak out there, and in very real and tangible ways. So it's going to be interesting.
End of this year, I'm very curious to see what else is going to happen because I mean, it's the robots is one thing, and the image and the videos too. Like there's a lot of videos coming out with that look way too realistic, and
Yeah.
it's all like that. All that stuff is scary, like the deep faking and what can actually be accomplished through that. The world is going to be a very, very crazy place and very like policed, I think, because you're not going to know what is real and what's not when it comes to screens. Like you got to be very leery, and once it gets to a point to where everything looks way too good, like you're gonna have to be very, very leery of anything you see on the screen.
I guess we're probably not too far away from I think they've already done this on smaller level. I'm talking about like the next AI generated major motion picture. We probably not that far away from that. And
We probably already saw that and didn't even know it.
that's true. That's very
You know what I
possible.
mean? Because I think that with the capabilities of what it is, like with what I mean, think about how they talk about the technology is like 40 years ahead from what is actually available to the public as far as what the
Mhm.
big wigs can have. But I mean, if you think like what is capable on ChatGPT for $20 a month, if there's somebody with millions of dollars that's paying a $2,000 a month subscription to something that's way more sophisticated and what they could be able to do with it as far as like being, because it's already Steven Spielberg quality stuff already on there. So if you know what you're doing and you got the real programs from the people that dedicate to just doing that, like there's no way you can't prompt the movie already.
Right.
Already. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sure that's already a thing. It's just not available to the public, but the things that aren't available to the public right now has got to be scary.
Mhm. And imagine the cost savings for, I mean, they could pump out movies, production studios. I mean, you're talking about saving millions of dollars. You know, all these crazy scenes that they film. You don't have any need to spend all that money to explode stuff.
You don't need the actors at the end of the
You don't even
day.
need the
You know what I
actors
mean?
either.
Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
we're to that point where you literally don't even need the actors, right? You don't need people for nothing. That's gonna be, it's
Yeah.
a wild world, man. I'm excited. I don't want to be scared, so I'm gonna just be excited for what's next.
Let's shift over real quick. Something that, I mean, you could replace people in terms of like putting something on a screen that they could watch, and maybe they'll probably have holograms that could be AI generated one day. But that still is not a 1-for-1 replacement for athletes. So human
Now
athletic ability
that part,
is always something we're going to be entertained by. And it goes back to something me and you were talking about earlier, because we love to see people do something that we can't do, you know what I'm saying? Or that we wish we could do, or we used to be able to do, or whatever.
yeah.
So, yeah, I kind of want to segue that into asking, because I don't want, we would be remiss if we didn't touch on it. For those that keep up with the podcast and have watched the previous episodes, obviously you've been on before, we talked about it. And then your wife, Lauren, was also on an episode as well. Head volleyball coach at Francis Marion University. So we want to give us an update of how that season went.
The season was awesome. It's probably her best season since she's been at Francis Marion. They finished the season number 1, 18-2 in the conference. Unfortunately, they didn't make it to the finals, but they had the season was great. It just didn't end on the best note. But next year, she's got some very promising recruits coming in. So her freshman class is going to be stacked. The team they're not losing a whole lot. Well, I take that back. They're losing Caroline Lucas, which is probably best player on the team. But outside that, but they'll still be stacked. I think that next year they'll finish number 1 again and make it, win the tournament, and go on to the NCAA tournament. But we'll keep up with that on the podcast, obviously, because the sports channel that you got, it's got to cover Francis Marion, because nobody's covering Francis Marion, and that's a problem.
The Florence Foodies Sports broadcast. There's a new athletic director over there too, isn't there?
Yes.
He came like midway through last year or something like that.
Yes. And definitely making some changes and a positive note on a lot of different levels. So definitely excited for him.
It's an exciting time in Florence. There's a lot of people, in different places, that have put a lot into different sports programs. I mean, I think about Drew Marlowe at South Florence. Like, look what they've become. They are a high school football powerhouse. I don't think in my lifetime I've seen that in Florence. You have places like South Point and stuff, that these schools that's kind of like you knew they were going to be a problem most years. But I mean, they have become a powerhouse. And I think a lot of people thought it was, Lenore Sellers and even the Sellers brothers. But those guys have gone on to South Carolina, and they're just continuing it on. So a lot of that's due to him. I wonder how long it'll be before he's coaching somewhere, at the next level. But new athletic director at Francis Marion. Obviously, we talk a lot about Scott Brand, the GM of the PD Icecast, and everything that's going on with that team. You've got a lot of people in the sports field, and that was kind of I don't want to go back to it, but just to kind of give some peek behind the curtain. That's why I feel like these people should be acknowledged. Like somebody should be promoting and covering and exposing what's going on, because these people are putting a lot of work into this, and they're breeding success with it. So yeah, absolutely. Francis Marion is a part of that, and that's good. I mean, that's a good season. It's hard to go all the way, in anything, especially at the college level.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching this grind for a while now, and it's crazy. It's always so many. It's so many things that affect the season that have absolutely nothing to do with the sport. So it's like when you really be watching these athletes and you think like, oh, they lost the game for this, for that, but you don't really know what be going on behind the scenes. And it's dealing with students from the age of 18 to 24. Just that part of your life, your mindset is definitely not the most mature. So it's a lot of things that can happen outside of the game that will affect the team and affect the season, and most of the time that from what I've seen, it's hardly ever like the athletic things that that caused the team to have the problems that they have. It's like like family issues, a parent passing away and that being a big effect. Like during COVID, one of her players lost their father, and she was the best player on the team, and then it became a thing, and then it's it's a lot of crazy stuff that just happens that have absolutely nothing to do with the sport itself that cause you know it to look like they're not gonna win. You know what I mean? It's wild, but
People don't know that part. I mean, I can relate to an extent. It's the same thing in our profession in the sense that there's stuff that goes on. Like we wear different hats. So like a college, probably a professional coach too, but to a different degree. But I could imagine, yeah, I mean, you've got to deal with, you don't just like do the X's and O's. Like you got to deal with personalities. You got to deal with people's social, personal circumstances, and all of that's part of it. And if your goal is to get the best out of an athlete, put the best product on the field or on the court, then all that's part of the equation. You don't get out of that. And so to be a skilled whatever, you kind of have to know how to juggle all that stuff and
yeah.
work with it. People don't realize that part. They don't realize that's part of it.
Yeah, like it's a big part when she's recruiting is the personality aspect of like what she's bringing to the culture of her team, because it's that's one of the most important things. Like the culture, if you ruin the culture, it doesn't matter how good you are, because you're not going to play together, and if you're not playing together, then
It's
you're not
rap.
gonna win.
We have to talk about some food to land the plane.
Yeah.
So last time you were on, we do our Florence Foodies favorite Florence food item segment at the end of the show, and you made it very clear that Baja Joe's is nobody was messing with Baja Joe's at the time. I
At
want to
that
ask
time,
you, not necessarily do you still feel that way? That's not really the question. I just want to kind of get you to expand that a little bit. So since the last time you were in that chair, and y'all are probably like us, y'all probably don't get to go out and eat a whole lot, but if you do get to get out, or maybe even at work on your lunch break, whatever it is, why don't you kind of give us some high level highlights of what are some things that have caught your attention over the last year?
well, there's one spot that I had no idea even existed. Effie Pops.
Ah,
Effie Pops is a spot at 5 Points. It's right behind the gas station, and it's a hidden little gem that food is delicious, and I wouldn't even expect it, but you go there. Have you tried it?
absolutely. We did a showcase on. We sat down with Tommy and did a showcase on the restaurant. You're the second person in about the last 2 weeks that's mentioned that to me. That said that, like, man, I've never been to FE Pops. This place is awesome.
Yeah, I mean Effie Pops is good. I give Effie Pops the chef's kiss. That spot is gonna be a regular spot in our Sunday breakfast with the fam. That first of the month eatery. It's another new little spot that is it's good. I like what they're doing there. It's definitely got a good ambiance in the building. It's like roses all over the ceiling. It's a high class place. It's not cheap, but it's quality.
I got to get over there. I have not been there. It's been on the target list for a while. I'm slowly making my rounds. Like I just got to we had the folks from Notchade on, but it took me a while to get over there after they opened. So I got to make my rounds. I have not been there yet. And there's some other place too. This can't remember what it was. I might think about it probably after this is over. But just real quick, a plug going back to that. Yes, we did do an FE Pop showcase. If you've never watched the showcase videos, that was kind of a big start to all of this. It started, we did one with Slabs in Lake City. The next to most recent one we did was FE Pops. Tommy Bolger's a great guy. We sit down with him in that video. If you have not watched that, I will link it down in the description, down in the show notes. I encourage you to watch it, and you can get an idea of what he's talking about. But yeah, they do a good job. The coffee,
Yeah,
that's kind of how a lot of that started. But yeah, the food, and especially the brunch menu.
yeah. The waffle is probably one of the top waffles in town. Like I like whatever they do into that waffle is good. And first of the month got a good waffle too. So I mean, it's 7, but who knows? Um, but
No, those are
yeah, I
good
mean,
answers,
I'm
man.
I'm messing with Effie Pops. That's my new go-to. Uh, Elliot's is a spot that I enjoy. We've been frequent over there. Barbecue is good.
Hmm. Percy and Willie's is going to be back soon.
Really? No, I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
know
very
that.
soon. Yeah,
I didn't know where at. Same
same
building?
location.
Okay.
Hmm.
Now that's exciting. That's exciting.
I don't know the exact date, but I would imagine that you're looking at maybe as early as this month. I think it's probably more like next month from what I've heard. Yeah.
The same person in Willie's just reopening.
From what I understand, there will not be much change in terms of the menu. I think that they're remodeling the entire inside. And I think they're going to make it a little bit smaller, which from having worked there for a while,
Did we work there at the same time?
we worked at the original location together briefly.
Yeah. Okay.
Very briefly, yeah. But I worked at the new location for about the current location for about like 4 years, 2 different stints because I left for a while, went to Augusta. But there was a point in time where on Friday or Saturday night, it would be packed. That whole restaurant. I'm talking about the current location. I'm talking about the banquet room, the 3s and 4s, which is on that other side towards the restrooms, the bar area, and the middle part of the dining room. Everything will be packed. There'd be so many people at the door that you're running food, or what we would call flow looping, which is basically just going around pre-bussing tables and stuff like that. And you couldn't even walk through there. It was like madness.
Yeah, I know. Trust
Every
me, I
Friday
know.
and Saturday night. But then it kind of dived off, and I think a lot of places felt that. I think from my little bit of insight, I think we're just now getting to a place because a lot of people stopped going out to eat. And then another thing with COVID that people don't realize, the emergence of DoorDash, Uber Eats, all the delivery services. Chick-fil-A's got their own delivery service that people use a lot. They've probably made a lot of money on that. And then with the COVID thing, where by default people weren't out, they got accustomed to. So you don't have I think that we saw a dip in dinership around that time. I actually think it's starting to kind of creep back up, and I'm gonna be interested to see what they do. I'm looking forward to going on a probably a Saturday night.
The foodies need a diner, man.
Yeah,
You need a foodie diner for the city. I'm sure everybody will show up.
I mean, I'm always investigating and trying to learn and just be sensitive to whatever the Lord might be saying to me to do, whatever opportunities there are to do something that's mutually beneficial. So we may or may not have been running some numbers for a while now to see. Now, there's really nothing more to say than that, actually. But yeah, I mean, me personally, obviously, I'm into food, and I think that we've got a great thing going. We've come a long way, and I'm super excited about what I'm seeing. I think the narrative in Florence has officially changed. Personally, now we still got to build on it, but I feel like I relate a lot of stuff to sports, right? So we went from being a bottom of the league team, never making the playoffs, to now I feel like we're a playoff contender. We probably get bounced in the first or second round. We kind of like the Cowboys right now. You know what I'm saying? Like we can year after year. Now we're legitimate a problem in the regular season. We're a playoff contender, but there's room for improvement. We want to be a championship team. You know what I'm saying? We want to be perennial championship contenders. We want to be on the Patriots or the Kansas City Chiefs. The Philadelphia Eagles level, where
like the Cowboys, so y'all trash.
we're gonna cut this part out. We'll cut this part out. You understand what I was trying to say?
No,
it probably wasn't the best analogy, so go Birds. But yeah, I'm just saying, like I think we were I'm gonna offend somebody in this. We were the Browns for a long time.
Okay.
Whereas like the season starts and you already know they're going to win 4 games. Like that's a ceiling for them. And I feel like that was the narrative, is what I'm saying. I'm not just saying I'm saying that was the narrative.
Okay.
But now I feel like the narrative's changed. Like, okay, they're making a little noise in Florence. I feel like that's where we're at. But there is room for improvement. And so I look at the landscape and I'm like, well, it'd be good if we had this. We could probably do that here. And I see things. I think other people are seeing things. So would it be nice to see some more places open? And could we be involved in trying to bring something to the city? And I think so. Maybe.
Who knows?
Time will tell. We don't know. Only God knows. Time will tell. We'll see. But God willing, maybe, anything could happen. Anything could happen.
Well, I want to be involved if it happens, if and when. Yeah, just put me in, Coach. So.
Well, we'll have to see what happens. You never know. There could be a lot of things in 2026 that, were not on the radar that all of a sudden became on the radar. So we'll see. But I'll tell you this, though, regardless of anything, I just feel very, very blessed in the sense that I'm having a lot of fun doing what we're doing. And we've been able to continue to do that. So I want to continue to do that. And this show's part of it. And so, I expect you to be a recurring guest. You're one of, you are the fourth multi-appearing guest we've had. So I appreciate you taking the time to do that. You actually did this one on short notice too. So I do appreciate that too.
It's all good, bro.
Wishing you a lot of success in 2026. He is at ALM Hyundai on Palmetto. So you can go by and see them.
Yeah, so ask for the best dressed guy in the building, they'll come get me,
There you go.
There you go.
Or just ask for Mr. Edwards, whatever you're
or that guy.
with.
Yeah, or that guy.
Whatever you're more comfortable with. But yeah, I do appreciate it. And of course, as always, I appreciate y'all. And God willing, we'll see you on the next one.